Hey friends, welcome back to The Daily. This is Adriana. What a treat to be back here with you to practice here in our early days of August as we begin to explore this theme of our month, which is generosity. And I personally am so thrilled about this theme of the month because I find that generosity as a quality that we're cultivating, as a practice, as a mindset that we bring to our practice and also our world, can be such a powerful antidote in cutting through a lot of these kind of clenched or difficult feelings that we have, or a lot of our kind of hang-ups that we have, this sense of not enoughness, of this kind of like tight, stingy feeling of feeling like, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, feeling like I don't have enough, comparing ourselves to other people, maybe the jealousy that springs from that. I find that generosity is also a really powerful antidote to anxiety because it really shifts our mind away from what it is that we don't have and what might go wrong to what it is that we do have and how we might offer that out. So, very excited for this theme of the month, generosity. And for today's practice, I wanted to take some time and practice to really keep it very simple while encouraging us to bring this view or this attitude of generosity to our mindfulness practice. So I say attitude to our practice because, of course, the form of meditation practice, especially mindfulness practice, or if you want to get a little bit Buddhist-y, we can call it shamatha vipassana practice. The form of it is really simple, right? It's exceedingly simple on purpose. We're really only doing one thing. We're coming back to the breath. We're coming back to the body, we're collecting our attention, and we're just allowing ourselves to rest here for the time being. So I say that the form is simple on purpose because, of course, meditation practice is kind of a way of like clearing ourselves or cleansing ourselves a little bit from this constant input, this onslaught of stimulus that we're constantly receiving, and really just kind of dropping in to one thing, just keeping it exceedingly simple, and using that form of simplicity to focus our mind, to settle our bodies. This is how all of those beautiful, delicious benefits occur from meditation practice. And yet, even though the form itself is exceedingly simple on purpose, there are a number of different attitudes that we can bring to our meditation practice, right? Just speaking for myself personally, I know that some of the attitudes that I have brought to meditation practice is the attitude of kind of being in a hurry or like wanting to rush it along, where it's sort of like the attitude in my practice is like, okay, I just got to get through this. I have to check it off my list and then be done with it, and then I can move on with the rest of my day. Another attitude that I've brought to my meditation practice that is maybe not exceedingly helpful is the attitude of ambivalence, where I'm just kind of checked out, right? Like I'm like barely there. I'm off in fantasy or off in daydream somewhere. And there's this real sense of like not actually being engaged in my practice. I'm just kind of like the attitude of ambivalence. Another attitude that I have brought to my meditation practice at times, not exceedingly helpful, is the attitude of like, I'm bad at this. I suck at this. Everybody else is still as a stone. Everybody else has got this down. Everybody else has dropped into something that is magical, except for me. Like I'm just not good at this, as kind of like an attitude or a tone that I bring to practice. On the flip side of the same coin, the attitude of, I'm a little too good for this, right? Like, oh gosh, this again. We're just going to be watching our breath. Like, come on. That's so simple. That's so boring. Like, I am a much more advanced or progressed practitioner. Like, that's just a little too simple for me. So there are all of these different attitudes or these views that we can bring to our practice. Again, some not incredibly helpful, and some that are. Some attitudes that really help to enrich our practice, maybe give us a bit more insight into our practice. And one of those attitudes or one of those views is the attitude of generosity. Really coming at this practice as though we're offering ourselves something precious, which is our own attention, right? So being exceedingly generous with our attention. So we're going to do this today. We're also going to roll this into tomorrow's practice because I think that it can be really helpful to just kind of set ourselves up this month with the view or the attitude of generosity in practice. Remembering that our attention is a precious, irreplaceable resource, and the fact that we're clearing out some time to just offer that to ourselves and offer attention to whatever may be asking for our attention in practice is an inherently generous act. So, attitude of generosity. Let's get right down to it. Wherever you happen to be, as always, just finding a seat that feels really supported and sturdy. Chair, couch, meditation cushion. Not one is better than the other. And as always, if we're seated on a chair or couch, just letting the feet be flat on the ground, making that firm contact with earth. And then once we've decided on our seat, it's locating our gaze, so eyes open or eyes closed. And we'll take just a few moments here to open our practice by opening our senses. It's shifting the attention over to sound. Receiving the sounds of the space that we're in. Again, with this attitude of generosity. It's welcoming sound to be a part of our experience today. Perhaps even acknowledging that sound adds a bit of depth or context to our practice. What a gift. Staying open to the field of sound and shifting the attention to touch. So taking a few moments to really land in the body. Feeling the weight of the body against the chair, the cushion. And again, in the spirit of generosity, maybe even just releasing some of our weight, anything that we're holding on to or controlling. Just letting everything soften into the chair, into the floor. It's trusting that the earth will hold us. We will be supported here. Taking in the texture of clothing on our skin. Receiving the temperature of the air in the room. So as always, very little effort needed here. We're just shifting to a more receptive state. Opening up to what already is. Just resting in this space of receiving. the flip side of generosity itself. And dropping into the feet, and feeling our feet here. And space between the toes. And feeling where our feet make contact. And it's granting our feet the generosity of our own attention. And tracing the attention across the shin bones. And circling through the kneecaps, grazing along the thighs. And landing in the hips. And feeling where the sit bones make contact with the chair, the cushion. Moving the attention to the belly and the chest. Taking a moment here in the belly, the chest, barrel of the front body. Just beginning to establish contact with the body, breathing. So again, very little effort needed here. We're just feeling the way the breath moves in the body today by its own accord. Tip of the nose, back of the throat, belly. And then wherever, however the breath is most easily felt in the body today. It's dropping our anchor of attention here, marking this as home base, the place that we return to. And we'll continue into practice. It's using that singular, simple instruction that as our minds wander, which they naturally will, we're just noticing when we've left our breathing, acknowledging what captures our attention, and then gently, with a whole lot of generosity, bringing the attention back to the breath in the body. So as we settle into practice together, perhaps finding that there's a lot that's vying for our attention. Maybe finding ourselves preoccupied with the previous task or rifling through our to-do list for the day. Maybe we find that we're just kind of spacing out. Of course, if that's the case, no big deal. We're just acknowledging where we've landed. And then again, with this attitude of generosity, collecting the sweet resource of our attention and offering it back to ourselves. And again, feeling our way back. Body in space, breath inside the body. And just allowing ourselves to rest here. It's giving ourselves the generosity of our own attention. So whatever it is that happens to be arising for us in practice today, whether it be thoughts or emotions, sound, impulse, really the full spectrum of experience here, there can be this sense that we are rising up to meet it, again in a very generous way, with an open door, a wide smile, but without allowing it to hijack us entirely. We're just meeting what's there for us with a light touch, a bit of recognition, some acknowledgement, and then bringing our attention back. Again, feeling the weight of our body, texture of clothing on our skin, the way the breath moves in the body today. Just giving ourselves the grace of being here. Just this. So again, the real beauty here is that we don't need to work to manufacture any kind of experience. We're just meeting the moment for what it is and meeting ourselves within this moment for whatever we are. And just creating a lot of space to accommodate that. Again, the generosity of our own attention. And then in our final few moments of practice, just reconnecting to what it is that brought you here. This sense of intention or motivation. Why yes? Why practice? Why today? And closing out with a bit of sweetness, maybe a hand on the heart, and giving ourselves a little bit of credit for taking the time, making the space, and treating our own attention and time like it matters. And then as you're ready, just allowing formal practice to drop and coming back in together at your own pace, no rush. Yeah. right. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for practice. Yeah, I am looking forward to rolling this right into tomorrow's practice as we continue to work with this kind of mindset, attitude of generosity in our practice. So have a beautiful rest of your day, or not, or just meet it for what it is with a whole lot of generosity. And yeah, we'll see you right back here tomorrow.